Hello there, welcome after this short break, short summer break. I've had some holiday and now I'm getting back to normal. I'm getting back to you with some new videos on YouTube. So I hope you're also slowly getting back on track after this lazy summertime because, well, autumn's coming. So I guess it's always a good time to learn English, to focus on your English. And today I'm coming to you with this very important video, mainly the difference between say, tell, speak and talk. I very often get questions from you, Asha, what's the difference between say and tell? When should I use speak and when should I use talk? So today, once and for all, we will clarify all these matters, and I hope after this class you will basically know finally when to use these similar phrases. All of them mean mówić, powiedzieć, so hence the difficulty, but I hope together we will manage to understand the difference. Of course, remember to subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna release a new video every second week, so twice a month. And also, as my subscriber, you will always get a notification plus some PDF with the notes from each video. So, are you ready to find out the difference between say, tell, speak and talk? If so, let's kick off. So before we move on, I'd like to just outline the context. So first distinction we're going to make is basically between say and tell and speak and talk. So I would personally say that say and tell are used for just transferring some information to somebody. And speak and talk are used basically to talk about holding a conversation with somebody. So usually two people communicate, two people are having some conversation. So I hope you're with me. And now let's focus on these two similar phrases, mainly verbs, say and tell. So when do we use say? Whenever you want to say something, but you're not really mentioning the person you're saying it to, okay? So you either say something or you just say that without mentioning the person. Examples, because they always help. You know, she didn't say anything about the new project. So you see, she didn't say anything about the new project. You are not mentioning the person who you're speaking to, okay? The other example, what did you say? Again, we are not mentioning the object, dopełnienie. We are not mentioning our interlocutor, rozmówca. It's just say something. Another example, he said that the meeting was postponed. So you see, he said that, but we can't say he said me that or he said us that. It's incorrect because we use say something or say that without the object, bez dopełnienia. And now let's have a look at tell. So when do we use tell? When you basically have this object, this person who you're saying something to. So have a look. Could you tell me something about your experience? So compare, could you say something about your experience, but could you tell me something about your experience? So here you're mentioning the object, the person who you're speaking to, okay? Another example, the CEO told the employees to contact him. Told somebody. So you always need to have this somebody aspect when you use tell, okay? So she said that, no object, but she told me or the employees that. That's the main difference. So I very often hear during my classes, she said me, or you said me. No, she told me, you told me, or simply you said that. She said that. Okay, so I hope you get the main difference. One more example here. She told me that the meeting was postponed. So again, she said that the meeting was postponed, or she told me that the meeting was postponed. We have this object me Yeah. And now why that is in the brackets? Because you can basically skip it. So you can say, he told me the meeting was postponed. Or she said the meeting was postponed. So basically it's optional. You can always skip this that. I hope you're with me. I hope it's clear. Of course, at the end, we're going to practice using some practical sentences to translate. So bear with me, stay with me till the end, and you're going to test yourself. Now, just to sum it up, just to summarize what we've mentioned, when do we use say? We use say when we just say something without mentioning the object, and tell is used when we tell somebody something, okay? Have a look. She said that the meeting was postponed versus he told me that the meeting was postponed. So once again, tell somebody, say something or say that, okay? And now one more thing. There is some kind of exception, so you can actually use say plus the object, but the structure is as follows. He said to me that the meeting was postponed, okay? So if you really want to use say plus object, like a person, then you need to add this to. So he said to me that the meeting was postponed. But in general, I would say the option with he told me that is more common. Why? Because it's shorter, okay? So if I were you, I would just memorize he said that without the object, but he told me that with the object, okay? And now, let's have a look at speak to somebody and talk to somebody. Firstly, speak to somebody or speak with somebody. What's the difference? In general, I would say British people tend to use speak to somebody and American people tend to say speak with somebody. So I personally say speak to somebody. This is your choice, your preference, okay? And now what does it mean, speak to somebody? So it's basically something like talking to somebody, but then usually when you speak to somebody, it's like you have something to say to the other person, okay? So it's not like a conversation where two parties talk and discuss, like question, answer. It's just one person speaking to the other person because I have some important information to be transferred, for example. And of course, speak to somebody is also used in this business environment. And it kind of means like talking to somebody, but it's simply a bit more formal, okay? Examples, of course, they always help. So, can I speak to you? Can I speak to you? What does it mean? Probably I want to speak to you because I have something important to tell you, okay? So I have something to talk to you about. That's why I'm asking, can I speak to you? Because it's me who wants to speak to you, okay? Another one, I haven't spoken to him lately. I haven't spoken to him lately. So you just haven't had any conversation, you haven't spoken to him at all. Another one. During the conference, Jim spoke about climate change. So very often speak about is used when you talk about some speeches, some presentations. So for example, today during my presentation, I'm going to speak about, or I'm going to talk about, both options would be correct. So when it comes to speak and talk, I would say there is no huge difference between these two, like in the case of say and tell. Here it's your choice, but generally speak to somebody, it's like you speak to the other person because you have something important to say, or whenever you want to be a bit more formal, okay? And one more thing, of course, whenever you talk about languages, so I don't speak English, do you speak English? Then obviously you can't say I don't talk English because it's just mówić, general ability to speak. So I don't speak English. Can you speak up a bit? Can you speak a bit slowly or faster? Okay, so speak is this natural ability to speak. And now talk to somebody, and again you have this distinction. You can talk to somebody or talk with somebody. Again, the British preference is to say talk to somebody. And this is basically this casual, laid-back conversation. So two people are talking. So it's not like I have something important to tell you. It's like we are both holding this conversation, okay? We exchange our opinions, we just talk. So it's more, it has this kind of social aspect here. And now, examples. Let's talk about your previous job. So in this case, you just want to mention that you want to talk to this person about that. Probably I'm going to ask you questions, you're going to answer, and so on and so on. So it's going to be this kind of casual conversation, casual small talk. Another one. I talked to all my colleagues at the party. So you talked to them. Of course, you could say I spoke to all my colleagues at the party, but I'm not sure if you can feel it. It sounds a bit more formal, I would say. Or maybe you had something to say, right? And I talked to all my colleagues at the party. It was more interactive, I would say. You were talking together, okay? And now the last one. Can we talk? So you want this conversation. Can we talk? I need to talk to you about what's happened. Of course, you could say, I need to speak to you about what's happened, but again, speak to somebody is a bit more formal, a bit more businesslike. So, as you can see, when it comes to speak and talk, very often you can use them interchangeably, okay? But speak is a bit more formal, or when you speak to somebody, so you have something to say. So it's like one party is speaking and the other party is listening. Talking is like two parties are exchanging some information, opinions, and so on and so on. And now, once again, have a look at this revision, speak and talk. So I'm afraid I have to speak to Jane and explain everything to her. So in this case, you want to speak to her because you have something important to explain, okay? You want to speak to her about something. And of course, it's slightly more formal. Next one, may I speak to Mr. Brown? So again, in this situation, you want to speak to Mr. Brown because you want to ask him about something, possibly. So it's like one party wants to speak, okay? Versus talk to somebody. Where is Jane? I have to talk to her. And you know, in this situation, it's slightly less formal, and maybe it's not like you just have something to say. Maybe you just want to talk to her because you haven't seen her in a while and you want to have this kind of casual conversation, small talk. You want to talk to her about different things, different ideas, her holidays, and so on and so on. To sum up, speak to somebody a bit more formal, talk to somebody more casual and friendly way of holding this conversation together. And now let's have some practice time so you can test yourself a bit. I'm gonna give you a few seconds to translate the sentence. I suggest that you actually say it aloud, and then I'm gonna show you the key, the answer. So, the first one. Of course, you can always stop the video, think about the answer, and then continue. Okay, the key, ready? She told me that she was busy. She told me. Why not she said me? Because you have the object. She told me that she was busy. You have to say was because at that time she was busy when she told me. She is not busy anymore. She told me 2 days ago she was busy 2 days ago, okay? Of course, remember that can be skipped. You can say, she told me she was busy. I hope it's clear. Number 2. We have 7 sentences. Try to translate this one. Stop the video if you want to. Ready? The key. Say a few words about yourself. I'm not going to say anything. So in this context, we just say something. So we don't have the object here, dopełnienie, the person we are speaking to, okay? That's why we say a few words about yourself. I'm not going to say anything. However, if you wanted to include the object here, then that would be, Could you tell me a few words about yourself? I'm not going to tell you anything. So you see, I've used the object you, which means I need to use tell and not say. Hope you're with me. Number 3. Try to translate this question. And now, of course, if you don't have enough time, stop the video. The key. When was the last time you spoke to Monica? Or when was the last time you talked to Monica? So you see, you can use both because it doesn't really matter. Spoke to is a bit more formal, talked to is a bit more casual. So it's up to you which one you want to use. I've used spoke to and talked to because this is the British variety. So when was the last time you spoke to Monica? Okay, so we are talking about this conversation. Number 4, stop the video if you need to and translate it. Okay, let's have a look at it. Say hello. I've said that I'm not going to talk to him or speak to him. So firstly, say hello because we say something, so say hello. And then I've said that because you don't have the object here. Of course, you could say, I've told you that I'm not going to talk to him, but here you don't have this you don't have the object, so you just say, I've said I'm not going to talk to him, speak to him, it's up to you. Again, speak is a bit more formal. Number 5, try to translate this one. Ready? My manager told me to check it twice. So you see, whenever you want to say kazać komuś coś zrobić, powiedzieć komuś, żeby coś zrobił, it's always tell somebody to do something. By the way, remember that in the past we say told. So not told, but told. Like home, old, told. Okay, so my manager told me to check it twice. Are you with me? Number 6. Try to translate this question. Stop the video if you need to. And the key. Have I told you about our strategy? So of course we have present perfect because we mean yet, so far, till this very moment. Have I told you about our strategy? But of course, if you really wanted to, you could say, have I talked to you about our strategy? Czy rozmawiałam z Tobą o naszej strategii? So this option is also possible. Maybe it sounds a bit different, but it's still possible. So have I told you? You have the object, so that's why we have tell, not say. And the last sentence, sentence number 7. Okay, ready? Let's have a look. Did Jack talk about something important at the meeting? Or if you wanted to be a bit more formal, a bit more businesslike, you could say, did Jack speak about something important at the meeting? And that would be more like having a small speech delivered or a presentation possibly. So in general, I would say that if you want to talk about a normal conversation, I would just use did Jack talk about something important at the meeting. I hope that thanks to this video, you've finally, resolved your doubts when it comes to say, tell, speak and talk. Of course, if you have any further questions, remember you can also ask me below the video in the comment. Of course, let me know if you've enjoyed this class. And once again, remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel because there will be more videos like that in the future. And also remember to collect a free PDF with notes and further exercises. The link is below the video. However, if you've subscribed to my newsletter already, you will receive these free PDFs each time a new video is released.